Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I create art and talk about whatever I want. I'm Hawkblood, aka Laura, and I hope you all are doing okay. Yeah, welcome back to another sketchbook session video. It's been quite some time. It's been, I think, 10 months actually since I did my last sketchbook session, which is almost a year. And that's crazy, like seriously. To be fair, I also haven't really touched my sketchbook within the past 6 months. I think I only touched my sketchbook twice this year, which is really sad if you think about it, but it's okay. I think in my last sketchbook session, I talked about the legalization of cannabis here in Germany that happened last year and how that affected my mood or generally my feelings towards drugs and how they have changed. A lot of stuff developed from back then, and I also want to make a follow-up video to that specific sketchbook session, and I actually said in last sketchbook session that I will do this the next one, but today I decided to talk about the stuff that has happened over all the past months, because it's been quite a lot and it will explain a lot of stuff. So yeah, I just overall want to talk about life and the things that led up to me being here right now and how life improved but also got worse to improve again, and overall just stuff like that today. And as you can hear probably by my commentary style, this video today isn't scripted at all. Usually, even for the sketchbook sessions, I write a rough draft about the topics that I want to include in the video. But today I just haven't done that. Today I will just talk and let things flow, and this video will become as long as it wants to be. So yeah, what has happened? I quit my job at the botanical garden, which is half true because my contract ended in August, but I also somewhat quit my job, if you will, because I had a very severe fallout with some colleagues of mine that will actually have some legal consequences, which is why I do not want to talk about the incident itself today, but more of the consequences it had for myself. But yeah, I quit my job, though I still worked in that botanical garden for 2 months voluntarily next to my new job with less hours, and I filled up my remaining hours with voluntary work at the botanical garden, which in hindsight I did due to trauma bonding. Yeah, we do not have to get into that. I just want to say that I still worked there for 2 months before my mental stability absolutely crushed due to that incident that happened, and I still remained in that toxic environment. And yeah, that initially led to me being I wasn't functioning anymore, and I had very severe I don't know what's the English word for it, but executive dysfunction, I think. I've always struggled with depression and anxiety, but after that incident, it got so worse that I couldn't leave the house, I couldn't care for myself, I couldn't do anything, and that initially led to me to finally, after years, allowing myself to go to therapy. And I want to thank a very close person in my life for that opportunity, because he actually convinced me that I should go to therapy, because before that I was always very anti-therapy. I didn't really think I would need it, which is not the best mindset. I thought I didn't need it because I could manage it myself, and that was true to an extent. I am able to manage my problems myself, but therapy makes it so much easier and quicker and just safer. It's a game changer. But yeah, I started therapy for the first time in my life, and it's a blessing. It's seriously a blessing. Even though therapy is fucking hard, it's fucking exhausting, things will become worse. Like first they become better, then they become worse, and then they start to become better again. Therapy is not easy, and if you think it is, then hey, this is your wake-up call. Therapy is not easy. Therapy is uncomfortable. It is sometimes invasive. You know, you have to push through that so you can actually, find salvation of the horrors you're facing. If I'm using that cheesy wording. But yeah, I started therapy to process that fresh trauma that I gained from that incident, and yeah, I got back on track. It's still hard for me to manage going outside, but it's getting better and better. And yeah, most of my winter was spent with therapy. And yeah, in late December, I actually decided to take legal actions for what has happened. And that so far was very successful, because unfortunately I am not the only young woman who was affected. And with that wording, you can probably guess in which direction it's going. And yeah, next week on Monday, today is the 22nd of May, and next week on the 26th, I will actually have how is it called in English? A witness interview. You'll know what I mean, but I'll actually have some more legal advisors talk to me about what we can do to the people that were causing all of this. So yeah, that's interesting. I am very excited. I am scared, but I know that I unfortunately am not the only person who's been affected, and I have a lot of evidence. So yeah, it'll be still tough, but I'm pretty sure things will go well. But yeah, I managed to get over my last job that was very toxic, got better, and then in January I applied to an art academy, because one of my art goals, or life goals if you will, for this year is to actually take my career path into art and not into science, which I wanted to do before. And I will actually start a study in graphic design in September, and that's very exciting. And yeah, it's been very, very, very exciting. And next week I applied to an art gallery, and this one will start next week on the 31st. There will be the vernissage, if it's also a word in English, the opening of that gallery. And I have 3 linoleum prints and 1 watercolor piece that I will exhibit, and I am excited. And then on the 29th is my birthday, and I will turn 21, and that's very insane. But yeah, what I wanted to say, oh my god, so much stuff is happening. What I wanted to say is that, yeah, in winter I managed to get over my last job, and then I applied for graphic design. I passed the entry exam, and after that my depression came back again, that I was dysfunctional. and I'm still struggling with that. There are a lot of reasons why my depression came back. There are a lot of stuff that we also discussed in therapy that were trauma related. I am actually qualifying for CPTSD, which sucks. And what is also in discussion is it is very clear that I'm neurodivergent. I am at least a highly sensitive person with like hints of ADD, but the tracks are actually like pointing towards Asperger's, and I don't really like that term, but yeah, long story short, trails or there's a lot of evidence that is trailing or pointing towards autism, and I've been suspecting that for a long time. I think the first time I actually considered being autistic was when I was 16, when I actually befriended someone who was diagnosed, and they actually approached me and voiced their concern that I also might be autistic. And so far I have heard that from 3 diagnosed autistic people independently. And overall, everything is just piecing together, and my therapist has also voiced that in like the 3rd session we had, that he thinks that I show autistic signs. We so far agreed on that I am neurodivergent for sure, but which expression of like disorders or conditions it really is we haven't agreed on, because that's not the main focus of our therapy. The main focus is to get out of depression and like manage my anxiety, which is also like quite bad because the incident in the botanical garden actually triggered a lot of trauma in me that I managed myself to get over, but like my nervous system was like approved that there is danger, and now I have severe trouble with going out, and we are currently trying to manage that. I'm also currently working on my phone addiction and my internet addiction, which is going quite well. I have been severely addicted the past months due to my depression, obviously. I couldn't do anything else, and I'm talking about like 16-hour days of doom scrolling, and that also like really affected me. And I'm like slowly getting out of that. I try to read more, I try to do more art again, and like to actually focus on sessions that are longer, like not just like 50 minutes of sketching and then I just continue doom scrolling for like 3 hours, but like actual sessions of art where I sit multiple hours. And with watercolor, it's quite hard because you have like drying times, but I'm reading more. I started reading again, and I started going by bike again, more and more. I also like gave myself like time limits that I only start using my phone after 9 a.m. I also try to get up earlier when I am off work. I only work 2 days a week currently because I can't do more at the moment due to my emotional stability. But on the days where I am not working, I try to get up at 7 a.m. and take like the first 2 hours of the day to care for myself, make myself breakfast, going out for a walk, going out for a bike ride, or just reading, as I just said. And I actually did that yesterday as well, and I drove my usual bike ride track. And it leads like through our fields, like crop fields. I live in a quite suburban area that is very close to like crop fields and a forest. and like my usual bicycle ride course leads through that field. And yesterday I went biking like at 8 a.m. and I actually saw some wild hares on that field, like very close to me, like 2 meters away from me. And it was so cool because it's been ages since I saw wild hares there. And every time I see a hare, I am just surprised every time about how big they actually are and how scary their eyes are. Like, they're so fucking scary. And I was just so amazed because like having this wildlife interaction in like this suburban areas is like something very cool to me. I know it's actually quite sad that these animals have to reclaim like their living grounds, but it's also like so cool to know that they are still there and living their life. Just seeing a hare and it's staring at you with that look of it's about to kill your family. Hares are so fucking scary if you're only used to like these sweet domesticated little buns. If you have these in mind and see a wild hare, it's so scary. I don't know, but it's also very cool. I've been getting better with my mental health that had depleted so much during the time in that botanical garden. Though I loved that work, it just like the people there, they're absolutely unhinged, and I will do anything in my power to get the responsible people to actually face their responsibilities and the consequences of not doing so. I was getting better, then I got worse again after like I reached my next goal of like fixing my future or like having a plan for my future, because that was also like a thing that affected my mental health of not knowing what to do after I quit my plans of staying at that botanical garden. And just a lot of stuff that happened. It's been quite a ride. I hope this video is making sense. I absolutely lost tracks of what I already said and whatnot. We also faced a few deaths within the past year within our family and in our closed friend circle, which also like added up to my depression. I'm just trying to get better, especially with the help of therapy. It's so good. It's so good to be in therapy. I am so grateful to have this opportunity. I'm just so glad. I'm so glad that everything happened so quickly. It's definitely not normal to get therapy in like 3 weeks after applying here in Germany. It's really not usual, and I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, I think I am done rambling for now. I hope this made any coherent sense. I really don't know. I think I should have made my rough draft, but I didn't. And yeah, let me know what you think about this commentary style. Talking about the art real quick, I did a portrait of my character Nevada that I haven't been really drawing since a long time. I haven't really been drawing any character of myself in a very long time, let's be real. But yeah, this painting was an absolute struggle because my brown gouache was inconsistent. Like some parts were a little bit, it's just that tube of gouache that is a little bit flawed, and I was like having a little paint splotch that was inconsistent, and I really struggled with that. And also I haven't been really drawing with gouache since, as I just said, like 6 months. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the result, even though the ugly stage lasted for very long. But I'm happy with the final result. I hope you like it as well. Yeah, tell me what you think, tell me what you've been going through the past months, and yeah, just overall a little update on you guys. I'd be interested. And I hope you liked my little personal update on overall how life has been. I know it's been very, very short, very brief, but yeah, I don't really have to say much other than I struggled a lot with depression the past half year. I also shaved the sides of my head. I actually wanted to do that since years, but I was never brave enough. And in terms of my therapy, I also got like the bravery of just doing it, because who the fuck cares? I do this for myself and no one else. So I shaved the sides of my head. It's not a lot, but it's still a case of freedom for me. And yeah, I had to retire my helix piercing. I think I already said that, but yeah, these were some minor things that happened. But yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope it's not too messy, but if I talk freely, my English becomes better, and that's a little bit sad. But yeah, I hope you're doing okay. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I'm excited to hear them. So yeah, stay hydrated, eat enough, and yeah, just overall, thank you so much for sticking around, and stay safe.